everybody, this is the Wikstrand. So Angelina Jolie, in my opinion, is a bit of a hit and miss when it comes to her acting. Sometimes she can be a little bit overrated, and sometimes it feels like she's phoning it in, and sometimes she's just depressingly bad. However, she can from time to time put on absolutely amazing performances. And I hate to use the term a powerhouse performance, but this is what this is. This is the greatest performance Angelina Jolie has ever made, ever. It is also one of the best movies that Clint Eastwood has ever directed. He's a very, very underrated director sometimes. People don't speak of him as one of the true great American filmmakers of all time, but actually I think he is. Let's find out why this movie is so amazing. This is The Changeling. Christine Collins is a single working mother in Los Angeles. It's 1928 and she works at this, telephone operator thing and, connects people to, different people via this switchboard thing. She's, sort of a middle manager thing. And she is, however, one day forced to work on a Saturday. And she leaves, the most beloved thing in her life, her son, alone at home. And she comes home and she finds out that he's gone. She searches everywhere for him and she calls the police, and the police starts this, search for him, but they are unable to find him. A couple of months after this has happened, she gets the phone call that every parent who has lost a child wants to hear. They have found her son. And when the son is brought back to him, she simply says that is not my son. And, the police says that, well, there's been a couple of months and he has, been gone, and, people change and, kids grow and stuff like that. And in not so many words, they basically say to her, please accept this as your son. But she says, nope, that is not my son. You have made a mistake. But the LAPD says that they don't make mistakes like this. And when she persists that this is not my son, and she starts, to questioning, their abilities and stuff like that, she finds herself in a situation where, they come after her. And she basically on her own almost has to fight the injustice that she believes that she has been exposed to. And virtually nobody else believes her except for one preacher played by John Malkovich, who is 100% on her side and almost 0% on the LAPD side, because he has an axe to grind with them and has accused them of, murder and corruption and what have you. So this is a tale of Angelina Jolie's attempt to try to find her son and also try to fight the system that was the LAPD in the 1920s, right before the stock market. So this is a story that is very raw, and it is very emotional, and it is directed in such a fashion also. And as I said, Angelina Jolie's performance is absolutely magnificent, and it matches absolutely the tone that they're going for. And here's where this movie excels, because Clint Eastwood decided to take a little bit of a gamble with this thing, because the strongest part of this movie is the side plots, actually. The main plot with Jolie and her pursuit of justice is fantastic and compelling. But what really puts this one over the edge for me was the fact that they have all of these small side stories that they introduces one after the other. And you're thinking to yourself, what does this have to do with anything? But since this is a movie that awards a person who is observant and looks for things, you store these things in the back of your head. And all of a sudden it turns out, ooh, that thing have to do with that thing. And all of a sudden we have this great little tapestry of stories that comes together and presents a much bigger picture. And here is where the movie really takes off. Now, I was a little bit afraid when we had like 40 minutes left or so, that either you should probably start wrapping things up by now, or you have chewed more than you can swallow. But apparently Clint Eastwood had not chewed more than he could swallow. He was able to deliver a fantastic third act and a great finale to this thing. And since this is a true story, I think that the point where they ended was the correct point, where they should have ended. This is not a movie for everybody, especially not for me. Traditionally, this is not the type of movie I really like, but I love this movie. I think this movie is absolutely amazing. And I have a soft spot for characters who doesn't compromise. Characters who, you know, doesn't compromise with what they think or what they should do. They are some of the most compelling ever, and you're just so behind them if they are, you know, the protagonists of the movie. No matter what they think or no matter what they say, you just feel that, yeah, you go for that thing. And that is what this is. It is one woman's struggle against a maybe corrupt system, and that might sound a little cheesy and a little corny, but it works. And when you do this in this earnest way that they do it, it absolutely 100% works. This is a movie I really recommend, and I think this is a extremely underrated drama. I mean, it gained a lot of attention and it won a lot of awards, and it has a high score on IMDb, but it isn't a movie that anybody talks about anymore. And I think this movie is great. It is definitely one of the best straight dramas I've ever seen. You know, drama without, you know, any, you know, gangster things or war things or stuff like that. It is just a movie about a mother who loves her child and is willing to go to any length to try to get him back and demand justice for herself. It may sound a little corny, but I think in this movie it worked so well. I really recommend this movie. It's really great. You really get the feeling that you are in 1928 in Los Angeles. They have really gotten everything down with the costumes and the cars and the music and the atmosphere, and the cinematography is great. One of the few things I think could have been improved slightly is probably the fact that apart from Angelina Jolie and John Malkovich, we don't really have anybody else to really attach ourselves to. We have a pretty big tapestry of characters, but there is a lack of stars in this movie. It's not a big thing, but it was a thing I kind of realized when I watched this movie. Changeling is an excellent movie, and I give this 88 points. And the fact that this is a true story makes this movie even more raw and even more emotional. So, good job, Clint Eastwood. Great job, in fact. So which movie do you think is the best of the Clint Eastwood directed movies of all time? Comment below, and I'll see you next time from, well, so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.